All right. Oh, the intimidation of the blank page. I finished page 11 and 10. I could show you where I am. This is the whole comics right now. Not counting this very first one is my Instagram shim. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm a little worried about this page. Does it look messy to you? I mean, there's a sort of chaos to it of this battle that's taking place. Um, and of course it's set up so that the eyes are just these shapes. Whoops. Did I just kill my app again? I have a script. Hello, King. But I'm at a bit of a conundrum on my page 12. The final panel on page 12, I want to be a square panel. I don't want it to be a long rectangle panel. I want it to be a square panel. It's when Snapper yells at Celeste and tells her to go now. To go find Fang. And I don't think it works as a long panel. I think it works better as a short panel. So the panel before it also has to be a short panel. Or you have to do something tricky. and if you know much about me, you know I don't like to do too much tricky stuff with my layouts. So I almost want to like, and this margin may or may not stay. You see, I've put in margins before and then kind of erased parts of it when I want to do like some bleed. I do not want to do I just did a full bleed on the previous page, so I'm kind of like I'm working my way into this corner that I've painted myself into. Let me review my script here. The first one, Snapper's battling and he yells, "There's just too many of them." And then Blaze lands a kick on one and says, "That's how we do it back in the gym." Because he's a show off. So I think we can do that as square panels. In the middle, Snapper turns to Blaze, "Steady, son, just like we trained for." That's a single panel. But it could be. I almost want to make it a smaller panel. And the reason is the next one has more dialogue. Maybe I should actually throw the dialogue in first. So panel 3 is "Steady, son, just like we trained for." They should be like fighting back to back. Panel 4, "Celeste, we need Fang. Get back up the shaft and find him." And she goes, "I can't leave you." And then that's where we end it. So it makes me think. Well, one option. Let's do this way. Rectangle. This is the soup can stacking method, and I'm not very good at it. We're not going full bleed or anything like that. We're just going to start putting the panels in the page. And we leave a lot of white space. So maybe there's an open panel somewhere. What if we could open panel the last panel? Hang on. What if we did the first two panels very traditionally? Except we're going to offset them just a little bit. The third panel, steady sun, just like we trade for. The fourth panel has to be the large one, and it's in just an awkward, like, according to my thinking anyways, it's just in an awkward position for it. So how do I get that in? I could do it like this, and then maybe I could do I can overlap like this. This is not a comfortable place for me. It's got to end at go now. And in order to do that, I think the third panel, maybe the third panel is the one that goes open panel. Do other people, like other comic creators, I wonder if they have the same kind of problems I do. So I'm going to leave this kind of like as a space, and it'll just be the two figures talking. Steady sun, just like we trained for. And then that puts our somewhat larger panel. Oh, shoot. Let's throw that up there. So I don't like to do these L-shaped panels at all, but I guess I will do it. Like, if I do it that way, Celeste, we need Fang. Get back up the shaft and find him. I can't leave you. We could do like, what if I do it like this? I guess what I could do is just kind of swallow my pride and make the last panel a long panel. Um, just as long as I make it smaller, it's probably okay. Throw it right there, maybe? No! There we go, something like that. And then the fourth panel has got to be the big one. So what we can do here... All right, let's just erase this panel for right now. We could do right up to here. So that still becomes our big panel. We can move these shit. Let's move these figures down a little bit. They're not figures yet, obviously. And then I just have to stay aware of that left margin. This is going to be cutting it close. What I should do, hang on. Let's push this over just a little bit. That feels okay. I don't know. Can you see that? I don't know if that's even visible on camera at this point. All right. This is the trouble with tribbles. So I think over here we should show Snapper. We want to get away from these mid-sized. Have action, whatever it is, you know. It's a battle scene. Pardon my line of action here. These might be very boring videos for people watching because all you're seeing is my sketching process, which tends to be on the messy side. This is like watching people do blue lines, which is, it's like, and Peter lost 5 subscribers that day. I swear, it's a necessary step. All right, he's fighting with his axe, so I got to put the axe in his hand somewhere. Um, can you see the outline of Snapper taking shape? He's the alligator guy. Um, there's his shoulder, his leading shoulder, and then his there's some action lines. This guy over here, I was gonna do as like an upside down. Whoa, you know. That. Oh, I got to do the axe correctly. The axe has this very distinctive shape. Now, if I had been really thinking about this when I did the character design, I might have chosen a different weapon for Snapper. I think the axe is cool. But because of it's got like a batwing design in its own way. Maybe I should have had one of the bat characters have an axe. All right, there's Snapper. Hold on. Throw in this dude. And then we need to have people surrounding him. Like there's going to be people behind him even. And then Blaze will be by his side. Okay, I can almost see Snapper now. Can you see him? All right. And then I know this guy is upside down. The leather wings are, you know, they're they're mutant bats, right? So I want them to have sort of a taste of being undead, even though they're not really undead. So they have like you know, they should have a certain amount of like a creepy factor to them. Let's see. Okay, if he has his arm kind of extended this way. Well, it's kind of funny because I was looking at my art, and you should never look at other people's artwork and go and try and compare yourself. But the going style, the standard style, is not drawn from the imagination in any way. It's this very um, standardized look, with the human figure. And things like drawing from reference are like, they're so highly valued that there's no accounting for people who don't do it, you know? And I don't think there's anything wrong with drawing from reference, but I don't like to do it always. Now, here's one of those situations. I don't like to break my panel borders, but here is a situation where you could, because he's being thrown out. It's like he's being thrown out of the panel border. It's almost never a good idea to break the panel borders unless it's a situation like that where you can, kind of explain what it is. You should always have a good reason. Well, you gotta have a good reason for everything you do in drawing. Drawing is a mental thing. And the reason I know it's a mental thing and not a muscular thing is because you can draw with your other hand. It won't be as good. Like if I were to draw a face, I can still kind of draw it. And I bet if I really worked at it, like if I were somehow paralyzed in my right hand, I could probably learn how to do it. Um, you know, over time. So that's how drawing is all mental, or almost all mental. And there's guys that they get paralyzed from the neck down and they paint with a toothbrush, or like a brush stuck between their lips, and they're able to just paint these masterpiece things. That's how um, that it's all mental. I think it's hard for some people to accept because they don't like the idea that means they've developed a way of thinking that you haven't developed. That can be very tough. All right, anyways. I'm wondering if I should like I want to put his wing in there, but I'm not sure how to do it. They're glide wings. They should be something like that, maybe. No, not like the wing because it's gonna be like this is important. This hand and the axe. So I think we're just gonna have to stick it back here. Um, and just because I'm gonna be a wuss and I'm going to, you know what? I'm gonna bring him back inside the panel border because I don't think it was working out. I was looking at it. I'm like, I don't know if this is good. His ear is still like I didn't account for the ear. And we've got to account for this will be another. Maybe there's one over here or one back here. Maybe both. I had kind of thought maybe have Blaze a little bit closer, but I think um, it might be a good idea to not have Blaze in panel here because it sort of implies that Blaze has gotten away from him in the second panel in the process of kind of showing off a little bit, which is what he does. So isn't that funny? Story considerations when you're staging your battle scenes. Um, this guy's gonna have like his stun staff. Boom. Really one of the masters of this, and it's you wouldn't expect it, but sure enough, is Eastman and Laird's the multiple foot battle scenes, like the ones with a bunch of ninjas. And then there's a bunch of them in the original comic. I don't know if I like this hand because of the size of the head. Like I don't have enough elbow and wrist. Maybe I make the head smaller or the hand bigger. Bring it out that way. I think that kind of works. So, long story short, I might spend 22 minutes just on, we're at the 22-minute mark, just on this panel. Okay, if he's got his stun staff, we got to figure out which way it goes. And then we got to make sure that the hand is right. How's things going in your world? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like there's been a changing of the guard. And new things are happening. It's a good thing. I gotta work his wings in too. All right. Okay. Now keep in mind, of course, this is just roughs. When I go over it, I don't always follow it exactly, especially if I figure out where there's a proportion I did wrong or something else I might have done wrong. You don't have to adhere to your roughs too hard. I don't know what that line is. I think there's There we go. Now, he should be looking. Like he's looking behind him at this guy as he swipes and knocks out this guy. And then there'll be like a tang sound effect. So what if I just kind of bring it out there? All right, come on. And then, all right, I can clean this up. It's gonna take me a while. It's just one panel, so this might take me a couple hours to get this whole page all penciled up. Um, what's his line from this page? Let's see if we can um get the lyrics in. There's too many of them. That's what he says. All right, if that's what it says, let's get that line in. So we also want to make sure always that we have enough space for the text. So there's too many of them. Of they, them. There's too many of them. Maybe I could just do M. Too many of them. All right, let's get the right font and the size right. Bum bum bum. I like to use a size of 14 when I'm at 11 by 16. I can already tell. I'm gonna have to shrink this whole panel down. Okay. It's looking good, but I'm definitely gonna have to shrink the panel down. How do we do that? Well, since we're still in the sketchy stage, it's easy enough to do. Just grab the whole thing. Oh, come on, you motherfucker. Come on, right over here. Oh, that's right here. Okay. Grab the whole thing. Keep it uniform. And then for like this figure, whoops, for this figure in the corner. And we may even do this again where we draw the 3x3 grid because we want to make sure that we're approximating rule of thirds. I say approximate. We don't have to be like completely on the rule of thirds on everything, but it is a good guideline. Oh, there we go. All right, how about that? I don't like that he's centered, but let's pretend like rule of thirds. All right, there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All I gotta do to make it rule of thirds is to move my main figure just back a little bit. Like right about here. And we have the bottom quadrant right there. So I don't like this stun grenade, this stun puller over here. All right. You know what? I think I'm going to redraw this whole figure. One way to do it. These are snap decisions. Let's draw this. This time we'll draw. I kind of wanted to do like a perspective shot with a big guy up in the front, which I'm kind of doing over here with this character. And I can even, I won't black him out, but I'll be shading him out. Oh, this might be good. How about this? We'll run in a shadow from off panel. That always looks ominous. And the shadow will be that might be good. Might be some really nice black balance in there. Hang on. Where is it escaping? Could be escaping here or here. So where do we get this? I like that. There's too many of them, but I want to move it closer. Something like that. So that's a good panel right there. In the background, we got the cave wall. And then for these other characters, we have their glide wings. Also, the shadow coming from off panel implies a light this way, so we know which way the shadows are going to go. Yeah, that didn't work. So what do you think about that? I think this is a good start right here. And I know it's quite messy looking. Let's take a look. I don't know if you can see it on screen. There's too many of them. He's swiping away. This is one of them right here in the foreground. We're going to see his shadow in the background. That's a good start. And then we want to go with the next panel, which is going to be Blaze. We're going to go bigger, right? We're going to show the Blaze doing some kind of acrobatic move to defeat one of the Leatherwings. But in this open panel, just to repeat my script, Steady Sun, just like we trained for. And they're going to be back to back, fighting back to back. And then like Celeste will be kind of like firing arrows, and we're gonna see maybe a closer in on Snapper. Or maybe no, further out. We're gonna see Snapper down here yelling back at Blaze. He'll be up in the air, and it says, "Celeste, we need Fang. Get back up the shaft and find him." And Celeste says, "I can't leave you." And then we're gonna see him say, "Go now." I actually had the idea. Tell you what, I'm gonna add another panel on here just extemporaneously. I want to show Snapper get hit with the stun pole and he zap, right? Maybe it doesn't. So on the next page, Celeste looks frightened. She's suddenly turned. She flies upwards towards the exit, determined to find Fang. Um, Snapper is knocked out, and Blaze is shown surrounded by Leatherwings, and that will be the end of the sequence. Like if I was doing a longer comic with chapters, I think that's where I would end the chapter. And then we switch to some action with Celeste reuniting with Fang, which is the wolf character, and they come back. And when they come back, it'll be Snapper and Blaze will be unconscious and strapped to this missile thing, and then Vex will be taunting them, and then they're going to have to figure out how to win against those odds. We'll figure out what it is. All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe. I guess you can't get a completed page every other day, even when you're banging on all 6 cylinders, all 8 cylinders, what have you. However many cylinders you have. Maybe you're just a 1 cylinder, perhaps a 2 cylinder. But keep it rolling. The times they are changing. All right. Talk to you later.